Hi, welcome, Grandma Roseanne. We're going to make chocolate chip cookies today, but we're going to make them a little bit differently than probably you have ever made them before, because I think this ended up being about the best chocolate chip cookie I've ever made. Now, I want you to stay with me till the very end, because we're going to do something else with the cookie that I think you might like. I haven't done it before, so we're going to kind of do this together, all right? So the basic chocolate chip cookie, we're going to need obviously some flour, and we need 1.5 cups of flour. And by the way, there's a real purpose for these cookies, because my beautiful little grandson Maverick, who is in Texas and horribly snowed in, they have no hot water, their pipes are all frozen, said, "Grandma, can you bake me some cookies?" And I said, yes. So these are going to be for Maverick. Cameraman will get his share too, trust me. Now, this is 1.5 cups of flour, and we're going to need 1.25 teaspoons of kosher salt. One and a quarter kosher salt. And then to this, we're going to need some baking soda, and we want 3/4 teaspoon of baking soda. So that will be 1/4 and 1/2. There. Now, we're just going to set this aside. What I do want to do is I want to give it a little good whisk in here, make sure that everything is all friendly and everybody's happy together in there. And then we're going to set this aside. So we have our dry ingredients mixed, and they're off to the side. Now this is where you're going to have a little bit of a change to probably any other chocolate chip cookie that you have made. I have got 1 stick of butter in here, and I'm melting it down, and I'm getting it to a browned stage. That browning of the butter gives it an entirely different flavor. It gets real nutty and really, really super delicious. So we're just going to let this just melt down. You want to keep stirring, especially when it starts to brown around the edges. You want to incorporate those. So we're just going to let it go. And you want to really stay with this, you guys, because they can go from brown to burnt really fast. Now this is what you're looking for, so come here and take a look. I want you to see that it's getting all foamy all the way around, and that's what's important. You want to watch for that, and that means you're getting pretty darn close. It's starting to brown on the sides. It'll be just another couple of minutes and it'll be browned enough for us to take it off the heat. And once it comes off the heat, I'm going to put it in this bowl, because once it gets to that point, I want it to stop cooking. And if you leave it on here, leave it in the pan and go back to what we're doing on the island there, it's going to keep cooking. You don't want it to do that. Okay, come back in and take a look at how foamy this is getting now. Really, really foamy. See that? See how much there is in there? This is where we need to watch it. See, can you start seeing the swirls of browning coming through? Can you see that? I'm not quite sure if you can. But when you make this for yourself, you will be able to see those brown swirls start coming up. And that's what you're looking for. This is it. I'm going to take it off the stove. I can't do that one-handed, these hands. Can you see that browning right there? That's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Oh my God, these pans are heavy. Okay. We're going to let this cool down just for a minute or two. What we want to do now is take another 1/4 stick of butter, 1/4 cup, which would be 4 tablespoons of butter. And cut this into pieces, because what we want to do right now is we want to make sure that this butter will melt into this, but we don't want it to cook in there, so we don't want it to sizzle. So I'm just going to cut a few pieces. I'll drop one piece in. Look at this first though. You see that? And if you could smell that right now, oh, it's like heaven. All right, now if this goes in, come here and you can look at this. If this goes in and it's not spitting out, see, it didn't spit, it didn't sizzle. That means we're at the right temperature. And now the 4 tablespoons of butter can go in and just melt. And I think that for this particular recipe, I think this is an important step. I really do. You're not going to get that flavor of that buttery flavor, nutty flavor rather. You're not going to get that if you're going to just use just straight butter. Is it going to ruin your cookie? Probably not. It'll be fine, but let's take it a notch up. Okay, this is melting very, very nicely. Okay, so we have melted this down. The other 4 tablespoons of butter is completely melted. Now we're going to add 1 cup of brown sugar. You really should be using the dark brown sugar. It has more molasses content in it. I didn't have any. I'm using light brown sugar. It's going to be fine. It's just if I had the dark, I would have used the dark. So it's 1 cup of that and 1/4 cup of granulated sugar. And now we just want to mix this all together. Now to this beautiful mixture, which is just incorporated, all I want to do here was make sure I had no lumps. So that's what I've done. Now to this, we're going to add the eggs. And here I have 1 whole egg and 2 egg yolks. Just like that. We're gonna mix that up really good. And now we want 3 teaspoons of vanilla. Ooh, this smells scrumptious. And we'll give this a good mix. And you know what I love about this? I don't have to clean the mixer. Everything is just simply done by hand in bowls with a whisk. I think that is like super good. Now we're coming back to our dry ingredients, which we have already incorporated all of those. We're going to add all of our mixture here. Don't leave any behind. It's all amazing flavor and you want it all in your cookies. See how much could have been left behind? No, 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 no. All right, now we're just going to fold it all together, just like this. I honestly don't know that you could make a cookie any easier than this. And there's no chance of overbeating it, which so many times when we're using these mixers that are so incredibly convenient, it's really easy to overmix something. And then you don't have the right texture to that cookie. And you'll know you're done incorporating when you can no longer see white stuff. You guys, this is absolutely amazing, the fragrance of this. I'm really serious. You are going to be loving this. Now we're going to go for the chocolate. And I have Garandoli chocolate here. I have the 60%. If you can find the 70%, it's even probably better. It's just that our store didn't carry it. So this is what I have. So what I'm going to do now is just break it into chunks, just like this. Now, can you use chocolate chips here? Yeah. But why would you? No, that's just for the ordinary. And we are making the extraordinary. And I love it that it's going to be all shaggy. And I think that's part of the beauty of this cookie, is you're going to have big pieces of chocolate. You're going to have these fragments of chocolate. And I think that's going to be the best. And I guess you just break it down until you think it's about right. Break a couple of these real big pieces in. But see what this is right now? Bigger pieces, little tiny pieces. And then those crumbs are going to be in there as well. Okay, I guess this is what I think to be about right. So now we're just going to fold this into our cookie mixture. And I want every bit of it in there. And I want to make sure the chocolate is evenly distributed, because heaven forbid, when my grandsons, and there's 3 of them, get it, if one of them gets a chocolate chip cookie without chocolate chip in it, that would be disastrous. So this is looking wonderful. I can feel from the dough that it doesn't need to set up. But if you start working with the dough and it still feels a little bit runny, then let it just sit for 5 to 10 minutes. And that'll be enough for it to start to harden up on you a little bit. But this is perfect. All right, so what I have here is 2 cookie sheets that are parchment lined. And I'm using the scoop because I want them to be, you know, I want to be about the same size. I'm only going to be able to put 8 of these cookies on a sheet. So these are ready to go in. I have 16 cookies. I'm going to put them on a medium shelf, and they will cook 8 to 10 minutes. Now, look at them like halfway through. If you feel that they need to be turned around for even cooking, then go ahead and turn them around. But if they look fine, just leave them alone. Okay, so we'll be back 8 or 10 minutes. Want to do is be sure to cool these on the cookie sheet. It will make a difference to the texture of the cookie. So I'm going to leave them here for just about another, I don't know, maybe 5-10 minutes, and then we'll taste them and see how they taste, because they look fantastic. Well, the cookies were in for 9 minutes, and I think that was the right amount of time for our oven here. What I would like you to take a look at is it's nice and crunchy on the outside, but when you break it into the middle, it's gooey. And that's what you're looking for. Now, my husband tells me that I am absolutely 100% abnormal. I don't like chocolate chips at all. I just don't like them. So, if you want to have an honest taste test, I have to give this to cameraman. He'll tell you honestly because he's the most honest person I know.
Absolutely delicious.
Yeah?
Yeah, these are great. I would have said I fell in love with you because of your cookies. I think you're right. They're absolutely delicious. Cold glass of milk, Roseanne, right up my alley.
Oh, that's
great
good.
Cookie,
I'm
man.
glad.
Good
I'm
job.
glad. Now, Maverick, these are all going to be coming to you, sweetheart. But what have I got going over here? I have 2 more trays of cookies. And this is an experiment. So we'll know at the end of the video whether it worked or not. But it's worth a try because cookies are cookies and I just don't know that you can go bad with them. So none of these have any chocolate chips on them for people like me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pat it down just a little bit. Just like this. And on these, I'm going to put this sugar. If you can take a look at that, it's just a sugar that is a lot, it's not granulated as much. So you'll see as I put them on here. Beautiful. These I'm going to pat down a little bit, but I'm going to do these a little bit differently. Kids go crazy for sprinkles. I don't care what they are, they love sprinkles. So these are getting sprinkles. Well, we don't want to be cheap on the sprinkles. Come on. These last 4 are going to be cinnamon sugar. Oh, wow. That's a lot of cinnamon sugar. So we will brush a good portion of that off and then do it correctly over here. All right, so now we have the same recipe and we have 3 different types of cookies. So I'm going to pop them in the oven, still at 375. They'll be in there for 9 minutes. I will come back and let's just see if it's worth doing this way or not. All right, I will be right back. So these that I sprinkled the red sprinkles on, I don't think it showed up that well. So I don't know if it's even worth putting them on. These where I put the coarse grain sugar, it just melted right in. So I don't know that that's worth doing either. But the cinnamon is on there. It is going to taste, and I think we just need to give it a sampling to see what it does taste like. Now, the cookies are nice. They're really crispy on the outside. As you break them open, you can see how really soft and moist they are on the inside. So I will give this one a taste because cameraman gave his stamp of approval on the chocolate chips. Really fantastic. So I'll be the judge on these, okay? Oh, I really like them. They're chewy and crunchy and very, very flavorful. So I would definitely do these again. I would do them with the cinnamon and sugar or nothing at all because these just by themselves would be fantastic. So with that being said, 1 cookie recipe, actually 2 varieties of it because I don't care too much about doing the sprinkles if it's not going to show. So with that being said, all of this is going to get boxed up and it's going to go to Texas. And Maverick, you enjoy them and have great fun eating Grandma's cookies. All right, you guys, thank you. Come back. Ingredients will be below. Thank you. Subscribe. Come back. Thumbs up. Love you. Bye.